We were but the bliss. There would be no sun. We glimpse it. Take the ground from beneath me, I am sinking, don't let go, the world spins fast this evening, I want to see tomorrow. I am not yet done being. She waits for days that have been. Before it tastes sweet, when she wore the openness of youth through doors, the corridors, she walked to him who told her to the moon. They packed their dreams and lived out of them. Taught to spin, each the other's recipient, they wrote their years within each other, forever, ever after, they whispered like the world with him. Forever, ever after. After their seed bore life, a harvest child, tribute to the thrive that ever reoccurring remainder survives, clutched the breast and lifted high, the bloom watched with prideful eyes. Each the other's mirror, the shine resplendent through time, forever, ever after. After their youth died, the doors, the corridors, founded home and peace of mind, no longer spinning, taught to stand in the knowing of their age. The harvest child flew, the yield was remembered, through seasons they remained, as the world changed pace they stayed, she who through probability walked to him who told her to the moon. Each the other's storm, they blew through each other, forever, ever after, they whispered like the world would hear. Forever, ever after. After he grew ill. After the white walls, the phone call, the silence, the fall. Oh, the moon is high. After the last letter, the last of the weather, last reflection when he died, she sat and gave thanks that they had shared a life. There's moments that define us that could just pass you by. Now she sits and waits for days to come where she would be spun.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Flow. My name's Gemma, I am the Artistic Director of Broken Rose, who runs this event. This will never happen again. What happens with Flow is that we create things live on stage that exist only in this night, okay? So us as dancers, to some extent, have no idea what spoken word artists are going to say, and we have to respond to them. So this is something that is only going to happen right now, okay, which is what's really exciting about it. Flow started in Manchester, which is where I'm originally from, and this is the first time it's ever come down south. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how it's going to work, and then we're just going to kind of get on with it, really. We have some fantastic artists for you tonight. Dancing, you've just seen Ruby Adams, and you've seen Selby perform some spoken word. We've also got Stewart performing some spoken word, and I'm going to give the dance a little bit of a go myself. So we're going to start with round one. Now round one is what we call spontaneous duets. We've basically paired each other up, but no idea what each other's going to do. So we're going to have 4 poems in this one. I believe we're going to start with myself and Stewart. Stewart, would you like to come to the stage? Hello. So the idea now is, Stuart's probably got a poem in his head. I don't know what that poem is. See what happens? Yeah, great.
This is called Deep. Deep. I am deep, and oh so deep. I am deeper than the ease that fill that word. I am deeper than the peas of a drunken horde, who having drunk deeper as drunk as a lord, which is so damn deep, it is frankly absurd. If it went any deeper, it would be interred. And shallow, I am shallow, like a fluffy marshmallow. Yes, they call me mellow yellow, and they're quite right too. Shallow as a puddle made of piddle, that has dribbled down the middle of a north-white wall. And pensive, I am pensive, I am labour-intensive, though my oeuvre's not extensive, au contraire, it's rather small. Pensive as a painstuck pent-up pen pusher, pushing through the piled-up plethora of platitudes, suffering from the self-taught torture of ineptitude, damned by what I didn't do and doubting what I've done. And cheap, I am chirpy cheap, I am cheaper than a chip-chop cheapskate deal. For a few quid down you get a ship-shape meal. Now I don't know about you, but I know how I feel. That's pretty good going when all is said and done, 'cause I woke up this morning and my mama was gone. Ooh-ee, chirpy cheap, shallow on the ship, talking like I'm dirt cheap, talking till I'm done. Ooh-ee, find it on your weak, road runner meek, did I say I'm deep, did I say I'm dumb? Cheap, deep, shallow, pensive, sometimes apprehensive. Shallow, deep, pensive, cheap. Never eat shredded wheat. And cheap, and deep, and shallow, and pensive, and fierce, and fast, and anal retentive, and hurt, and whole, and glibly cynical, and lost, and late, and gladly gullible, and arrogant, and fraudulent, articulate, and passionate, sensitive, and negative, incompetent, and confident, and all of these, and none of these, and many more besides of these, and very egocentric, deeper than the ease that fill that word. I'm a voice that longs to be heard.
We're going to have Stewart and Ruby, I believe, next. Let's just let Stewart grab a glass of water, because I'm sure we need it after that. Ready for the next one. Okay. Whenever you're ready, guys.
Okay. This is called Closing Lines. But a few nights past, we stretched the dark. With hidden hands we held it fast. When daylight came, we pulled apart. But a few nights past, we stretched the dark of a winter's night, close tight against the cold. Been a few weeks gone since that supple song, that song that told with liquid tongue our twofold folding into one. Been a few weeks gone since that supple song of falling hair, close care against the cold. And a month has elapsed since the moon was eclipsed by the heaven we made when our planets collapsed. An infinite space was enclosed by our lips. Yes, a month has elapsed since the moon was eclipsed by 1,000 tiny deaths. Close breath against the cold. I've seen a year go by since both you and I, we pushed at doors already open, tracing paths through rooms unspoken. I've seen a year go by since you and I shared more than a drink. Close, I think, against the cold. I've seen all this pass, but you not once. You left me to give it a name and date. But our short night's pleasure I cannot weigh nor measure. The buds of the past have closed at last against the cold.
Thank you very much. Up next, myself and Joe Selby. Sorry, I didn't even say hello. I'm going to give it a go. Ready?
Yes. This piece is called Knowing. Kaye, sister, kaye. Kaye, brother, kaye. Nuga tunginde. Kaye tunginde. Kaye, brother, kaye. Kaye, sister, kaye. Nuga tunginde. Kaye tunginde. He knew a warm wind, hardened soles of feet and calloused hands from goatskin beats. He knew chants to ease the sea as he coaxed nets and pulled ropes on the west of Africa's breast. Hope was in his surroundings, and that they would provide. Through seasons and tide, the gods divided the rights, but the world don't stop turning. At times, the pure and just deserving lose their portion of the serving. Harmony walks a thin line, blind to who guides her. When scales tip, she bleeds. When harmony is hurt, she will close the skies and empty seas. He knew a warm breeze. He knew hunger, as he knew pain. He knew father's pride as baby brother's wailing cries. He knew mother's ache. He knew you can't stop this wave. Freedom in circumstance, the gift of each day. Every meal praised, his struggle liberates. He knew to dance. Kaye, brother, kaye. Kaye, sister, kaye. Noga tukinde. Kaye tukinde. She knew a heavy chest, buried in kisses of forgiveness where fists and kisses fought for space. She knew dense air between full walls shared with lager on breath, with fear and pain. She knew shouts of, "Look what you made me do! Look what you made me do!" Some monsters use love to keep us amused, while they paint us in black and blue. A self-portrait of sorts, using yours because their canvas was torn, the only art she ever knew. Heart as she knew bone, couldn't see the end, let alone the start. When alone we depend on demons to keep us warm. They step ever closer in the storm. Creatures from the deep and dark will come to host your ghosts. She knew a rooftop, the view from the edge down. To the breeze and shaking knees. She knew stepping back and running the city streets, gasping at noisy air, free. Kaye, sister, kaye. Kaye, brother, kaye. Nuga tukinde. Kaye tukinde. He knew ashtray grey skies, tower rises, overlooked cries, charges of congestion compressed in expectation of adolescent initiation of aggression. Boyhood to mendacity. When you know that the world owes you, hatred buries deep. Alliances of violence form these tribes of broken silence, like give a little, take a load, break a little, sing a little, make yourself heard. Because it's us against them, because it's us against them, because it's us against them, they tend to take. He paced, installed diamonds cut rough in the shape of chemical rush and jewels in paper weight. Was it they who disguised our fortune in riches, our love in flesh and our youth in hate? Because we will blame them like the rain, while we need touch, need some hush to be safe. So we dance, so we run, so we break. Get yourself heard. Let your story be told. But know what you know can change.
Okay, so we have left for this round, Ruby and Selby can take the stage again. I should mention at this point as well that all the lights you're seeing in these rounds are completely improvised. So we have Rachel up there. Say hi, Rach. Who is completely improvising all of the lights that you see, apart from the two performances at the start and the end. So I hate to rage. Off you go first, when you're ready.
So with our lunacy illuminated by the lunar light, salvation between speaker left and speaker right, we tweak the peak a little. Now it's all animated sights, moon bathed and laden with sage, so the clarity bites. We stage our ownership for showmanship and kiss the dice. All inflated cries must have been the might. Though disgusted I've lost, I couldn't fall from such a height. Touch of hand slight, flick the light, I've dragged the death. Bloom bellows skywards, leaves me foggiest at best. Setting temporary, but here the majority rest. Here we scream for one more breath. Here we souse for sight. Give me a ras-bangled ensemble with no plight. Pondering constant nonsense, give me sight. Because this is where the night don't stop. This is where the night don't stop. Far too classically trained for romantic espionage. We jubilate, by and large, mitigate the hate, desolate dips on manic, panic-stricken states, my first does charge. These jars raise for scars of yours, cause mine are few and far. You ask me where my zeal lie. Your tripping blatant make the requisition hurt my pride. Overcast, we stumble blind, all atmospheric. On the matter here, hysterics. Like I'm crushed by the luscious one, sumptuous rhythm, lash your tongues, romper stridum, posh the chuffles. And rattle on, and rattle on. Because this is where the night don't stop. Because this is where the night don't stop. I gave my heart to humanity. And in turn, it laughed, bit it in half and gave it back. Dared me to do the same again. We're all gods of our environment. Lend a little wisdom, friend, and I'll soothe you with a pseudonym. You can call me Mr. Rudimentary. Still love to over-confuse plenty, and I will lose until we fuse with the moon eventually. Because this is where the night don't stop. Because this is where the night don't stop.
Right, that's round one. We now move on to round two. And round two, we let you guys take control a little bit. Okay, so Rach, can we have the lights up on the audience, please? Don't worry. We're not going to get you up here to do it, it's fine. What we like to do is, so of course, the dancers are challenged there, because we don't know what the spoken word artist is going to say. So now we'd like to challenge the spoken word artist a little bit. So, I've got some pieces of paper and some pens. I want you guys to write down some subject matters. I'm going to challenge these guys to make their stuff fit with what you're going to do, okay? There's some faces that are going, oh, I'm going to be really mean now. Okay, so we're going to see how this works and have a little bit of fun with it, okay? So I'll bring around some pens and pieces of paper, and then we'll put everything into, this is forming as my hat for the evening. Anybody had a Dorset knob before?
No.
Well, they're really weird. We got given these. They're really strange biscuits that kind of look like hard bread rolls. Anyway, there you go, well that's fun. So I'll bring these round. We'll take a few minutes while the guys are grabbing a drink. If you want to put in more than one subject, please feel free to do so. And fold them up when we put them in, and we'll kind of just pull them out the hat and see what happens, okay? So,
Single words or...
single words, topics. Now to explain what's going to happen now, me and Ruby are just going to flow with it and feel. Now I have particularly similar feet, so I'm good at this one. Okay. Whenever you're ready, Selby.
Okay, I'm just going to improvise this as well, because the ladies are doing such good improvising tonight. I thought I'd do a bit of I will not be discreet about my smelly feet. In fact, I put them on show. Don't cover your nose or give me any to or fro, pish posh sort of wish wash about my waft. Golly gosh. And I won't act posh or think that because I wear a top hat that my arm pats aren't all that they reek. And in fact, as I'm rolling to this beat, I feel my VO is in flow like this night. I'll see you at the Pavilion Dance, even though I might give you a fright. That's why there's no audience here. You are very brave. I like hip hip hop hooray, another daft hippie day where I haven't washed yet. Here you come. And I don't play squash, I play bagman tin because I'm on badman tings and you know I'm sweaty. Ever ready. For like children running away, I feel like I'm lost this day in the haze of myself, followed by flies and such, and self-doubt. I will not be discreet about my smelly feet, in fact I put them on show. But it doesn't matter, because I'm a poet, don't you?
I like you. Right. Pull out another. That's quite possibly the funniest thing that's ever happened on play. I like it a lot. And I had to do one last year on porn. That was fun. Okay. The Underground. Now I don't know if this means the Underground is in the London Underground or just underground. Interpret.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you go on.
Yeah, underground. Yeah, I think I can manage that.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
underground. Underground. Take that a little more metaphorical.
Okay.
God, how I love the working classes. I love all their voices burgeoning forth with unrestrained greeting despite any crisis. The song of the soil from the salt of the earth. I love how they greet you with handshakes aplenty, no matter your place on society's scale. They see you with eyes all non-judgmenty. The bread of their friendship will never go stale. I love all their food. It's so thoroughly wholesome and made with ingredients honest and true. It's served with humility, care and devotion. One taste and your body and soul are renewed. I love how they smell of the rigours of industry, strong in the arm and controlled in the hand. Such heavenly scent, no perfumer's artistry captivates more the olfactory gland. I love them so much I don't want to labour it. They're honest and noble, hard-working and good. Of all social classes, they are my favourite. I'd build cities to honour their name if I could. No doubts, indecision, no if, buts or maybes. Those working classes are definitely best. I just want to marry them and then have their babies. Oh God, working classes! Oh yes, yes, oh yes! It's only that... No, yes I can. How can I put it? I don't want to hurt. Much as I love the working classes, I'm not so fond of the dirt. A little in the crevice and a smidgen in the crease. Smears along the in-between, glistening with grease. Gritty under fingernails and grime between the toes, as soot and dust and dross decay increase, encroach, enclose. Good God, I despise the working classes. Their ill-fitting clothes and their false bonhomie. They drink cheap lager from plastic glasses. They eat prawn cocktail is gastronomy. God knows I cannot stand the working classes. I hate how they look, how they sound, how they smell. But what worries me most about the working classes is this. I think I might be one of them as well.
How many people thought they were coming to a comedy show tonight? Okay, let's go for another. Elephants.
Oh God.
You're a cheeky lot, you lot. Elephants Okay, let's try another. We can come back to elephants if something, if someone has an epiphany. Dorset knobs. You could have interpreted that in various different ways. I
If Selby can freestyle, why can't I? Because I'm crap at it, that's why. It wasn't a rhetorical question. Are you right there, material? Come and have a look at me Dorset knob. Oh yes, material. I'll get it to you and you can put it in your gob. Oh yes, me Dorset knob is made with the finest ingredients. I mix it up together and then I put in my finest sedients. Oh yes, me Dorset knob. I bake it for 30 minutes. Gas mark 4. And in the top, oh yes, you'll love what's in it. Thank you.
What on earth? Come out of here next. Okay, lucky dip. Lucky dip. You could make it a lucky dip and just choose anything.
Random words.
Random words. Anything you want to do? It's a lucky dip.
Words. Words.
Clicking each one.
I say a word, you say a word.
Oh, yes.
Go on.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
Oh. I think we're making a new round as we
Word or
speak.
phrase. Hit me with your rhythm stick.
Please, I feel it coming on the lucky dip.
Oh yes, 'tis the way for us to go.
This ain't CD club, so we will not strip, you know.
Oh no, 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 we will not strip. We remain enclothed.
And when I was in bed this morning, I was thinking of a flow.
How did you know?
I just don't.
Well, that's fair enough, I suppose. I guess we're here to show our clothes and move about in rhythmic style.
I'm naked. This ain't Radio 1 with Joe Wiley.
No! I'm not so sure that she's not on Radio 2. But then again, what's that to you?
This ain't my frequency, sir. In fact, I'm lost in the blur of static.
Oh, talk of this frequency hurts so much.
It's another wave band. Such is such.
Oh, but why do we stand here ignoring beautiful ladies?
I do not know. Because we're self-indulged lately.
I suspect that is. Retreat backstage with me.
I think so. That's been a lucky day, people. Thank you.
God, do I love the working classes. Come on.
There's only a limited repertoire.
Politics. Ah, yes, politics. Okay, let's see if I can remember it. This is called faster, higher, stronger. Thanks to the Lord, the Olympic Games are no longer the place for oppressive regimes to proclaim to the world their collective might through the power of their athletes and thereby the right to global influence, political and military, international respect through sporting supremacy. Of course, we know all their gold was immorally gained,
by bribing officials and athletes who trained all day and all night because they'd been selected, ripped from their mothers and then been perfected by merciless coaches and arms that were sewn with needles of steroids and testosterone. Now, their minds were controlled with hypnotic lasers that doubled their lung size without leaving traces and fed up on lies about other nations. A diet of fear and indoctrination. That's how they got medals again and again. And who were they kidding? Their women were men. Of course, we never behaved in such sinister fashion. We competed with skill and with genuine passion for Olympic ideals. And since every metre was honestly gained, the victory was sweeter. And we knew that one day their system would sicken, for we had mastered the game of nuclear chicken. Safe in our armchairs, we know that today no empire of evil can make display of its signs and its symbols of utopian dreams. No, each moment reveals the true meaning of sport, from lighting the flame until it's all over. And for this, we give thanks to Coca-Cola, to McDonald's, to Procter & Gamble, to Acer, to Atos, to Visa, to Panasonic, to General Electric, to the Dow Chemical Company, to Coca-Cola, to Coca-Cola, to Coca-Cola.
Okay, we're going to do one more, and then we'll go into round 3, okay? Let's hope for a good one. Gun crime. It's quite specific.
It is.
Gun crime?
I'll do it in 3 seconds.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
All these shiny things. All this flesh shaken on TV screens, all this things that I want but aren't quite in reach, and they make my finger quite itchy. I play two-toe touch with young lungs and my courage is all Dutch. I play with guns for fun. The powder is not louder than every voice that speaks in between these whispers of city streets and this broken concrete. Mind the cracks cause there's bears about. Don't step on them. Don't walk over free drains. Try not to complain cause I'm interloaded guns and my youngs are young and I play two-toe touch. My courage is all Dutch. And here we function with our index, one touch. Because there's things that I want that I can't reach. Still with a full belly and people to teach me, but there's things I want and cannot reach, and that other man's got it and I ain't gonna preach, I'm just gonna take it. And this weapon is at my fingertips. My index will itch. Because I'm young, with lungs, I play two-toe touch. My courage is all Dutch. I'm a loaded gun.
No, don't talk to me about political things or things that make you want to sing loudly in the street or eat the meat upon the feet of the mass rank march round the marble arch where the hands are hard and harsh and held up high. Don't talk to me, don't say a word about the things you heard occurred in some place not so far away yesterday, or maybe say you know the scene, you know the score, you make the scratches on the door, you go before you know the more. 4. I am a cynic, because cynics are the best. I'm cynical before, and I'm not impressed. There is only one thing that I believe to be true. I dribble less shit from my mouth than you. So don't talk to me. Don't say anything at all. Could all the talky talk people find a place by the wall?
oh tell me of sweet summer sweat, where we will rest. Hermits, kings, tell them weeping hymns, epitaph, I'm all mirth, I'm all madness. Let the bell toll, let them sleep. In dust and dirt, dreamers painting feathers falling on mangers steeped in child song, tell of ripened skies and let the colour run. We will play on, just discordant. For the merchants of war and order sold cloth and duty called us to tell of revolution speak. Focus resolution screened in high definition, and we bleed with no motion. The sum of our addition, we note the notion. And tell of fortune in the day. Write our heroes without weight. Tell me secrets that shaped. You who studies forgiveness in the wake of our resistance, quilted in the wilderness that plays among the shadows, for the hollow ones have learned to taste, learned to kiss the arrow. So tell me, mother, to create. Tell me, father, to do well. All I have will be taken and I will win the world, and tell these hands that I have learned to love, to build above the longing to fall. Tell to me of will, of anarchy, appetence, apathy, of glory in the flames. Tell your version of the story, fabricate, burn and break, immortalize when chance divides the tide and births the mist. Our lies, every outline of your breath will live, like they have listened. There's chiming in the distance, gifts of the unwritten. Tell me every you, I'll be sitting. So tell me, oh tell me of sweet summer sweat, where we will rest.
Yeah, okay, so this next one, we're going to switch it around, is about love. Got to get one of them in here. So, yeah.
Here we fall into words. Layers bear no blush. I hear the dust return for us like this time was not enough. Oh, luck deliver us as the hours struck our dreams. Absent was the flourish, don't rush rust. It will come, orphan object. Here the master bathes the subject. May I forever reach to fill the space between grace and me. Don't leave me now, I'm bleeding out. She, the city, screams, and we're even now. See, she sees them, whistling at painted dolls. Pick them up and play, they wish to be held. Give them reason like boys born to build. It does not provide. Perfume shirts, blood sport, and pints of life. Your gods appease with every light of morning. The opportune find calling in towers selling performance. This piece is mine. I'm doing all right. Here the devil dines with the sweetness. Caresses our sacrifice with broken bread and wine. May our weakness kiss each eye open. Here our finest fears dote upon the line we walk. Here's hope in this token by tomorrow, or talk of union. Tears so human. A borrowed joke, a broken promise, just some warmth on that wind that blows from the womb. It's on your sweat, on your breath, from your core, from before. It's not your want or proof. It's in the distance between the wolf and moon. It's not seeking truth. Truth is in seeking. It's that rush of blood, heart-beating sense of being, not your fuck or entertainment, not your comfort or your namer, but your lover. The one that bathes and dresses you fit for the wolves. It will tear you down. The grace is in the how.
together, you left me on my own. And when I asked your reason, you wouldn't let me know. You just said, think about it. Right? I'll have a go. Well, it could have been about the time I stayed out with a mate of mine and got back home at 10 to 3 and realised I'd lost my key, so threw up stones against your window, hoping you would let me in. And though I did it really gentle, the window smashed. You went monumental. Well, it could have been that. I suppose it could have been that. All right, it could have been that, you know, but I don't think so. Yes, it could have been that. All right, it could have been that. Yeah, it could have been that, you know, but I don't think it was. Or it could have been about the time I taught your niece a dirty rhyme and then she went and told your mum, who said that she was overcome, and that brought on her heart attack, just like your mum to overact. Thank God I didn't tell your niece the one about the kinky priest. But it could have been that. I suppose it could have been that, all right? It could have been that, you know, but I don't think so. Yes, it could have been that, all right? It could have been that, okay? It could have been that, you know, but I don't think it was. Or it could have been about the night I spent 5 hours on a gaming site. I was locked in combat with an adversary. I hadn't forgotten our anniversary. I was going to open a bottle of wine as soon as I'd finished with Orkmaster 9, but by the time his armies were scattered and dead, you'd already gone to bed. But it could have been that. I suppose it could have been that, all right? It could have been that, you know, but I don't think so. Yes, it could have been that, all right? It could have been that, okay? It could have been that, you know, but I don't think it was. It could have been the night I said my skill was magic in the bed. You said, okay, I've seen that. I've seen that magic with my eyes. You make a stiffy disappear before I even know it's there. I said, oh, there's no need for that. And by the way, your arse is fat. But it could have been that, all right? It could have been that, okay? It could have been that, you know, but I don't think so. Yes, it could have been that, all right? It could have been that, okay? It could have been that, you know, but I don't think it was. It could have been the pungence of my virile body odour, or the weekly sessions called Impression Time with Yoda. Yoda, my impression of her, yes it could have been. Or the rotten state I used to leave the toilet in. Or the way I wore my pants for 3 days in a row. Or the things I meant to say but never let you know. Or the times when we were out, you said the general public didn't think a grown-up should pretend to be a Dalek. Well, it could have been that. I suppose it could have been that. Well, it could have been that, you know, but I don't think so. Yes, it could have been that. Yes, it could have been that. Yes, it could have been that. But I don't think it was. It could be all these little things. But no, that can't be right. I never really saw you as the prima donna type. I'm trying hard to understand exactly what it was. You left me with a stack of whys, and I can't find my cause. Only yesterday we were the happy, loving couple. I never had the first idea that there was any trouble. Only yesterday we sat and chatted on the floor. You asked me how I felt about kids. I said I'd rather not have any more. And you said, what do you mean more? Yeah, it could have been that. Yeah, it could have been that. It could have been that. I think so, yeah. It could have been that. Yeah, it could have been that. Could have been that. I think it probably was. The table spreads before you like a desert, gasping for green, calling your name in a dry, insistent whisper. Creation awaits, work awaits, grind awaits. But just right now, you are the master of time. For you hold beverage refreshment. Coffee makes you strong. Coffee makes you free. Coffee holds you in its comfortable bubble, floating lightly over duty and demand, dancing you in gentle limbo. And then you spill it. You spill your coffee from your cup. You see it puddle down the sides and round the base and onto the table. Quickly you grab what comes to hand, a tissue, some paper, a sleeve,
to daub and wipe away, but streaks remain, and so you work harder, finding more tissues, more paper, more clothing, until it's back to normal and everything is dry again. But just when you think you've resolved the issue, you see another little dribble smear on the edge of the table, and another running down the leg, and some is even holding on underneath, where it has no reason to be, and you have no more clothing or paper or tissues. And now you can see some on the floor, and how did that get there? How did that get there? And so you pour out the rest of the copy onto the table. You watch it spread out like a microcosmic tidal wave, a relentless brown meniscus invading the flatlands, sweeping away smaller items of stationery, insinuating itself into notes and plans and ideas, the history of your hard work, now sodden, now useless, now lost. And so you mount the table. You mount the table because why not? Why not? And you stamp and splash in the muddy-coloured wetness, splatter-patterning walls and windows, pens crunching underfoot, and you start to jump and bounce and jump and bounce and jump and bounce, screaming,
What sort of trampoline are you?
until at last the table collapses because this usage did not form part of the original design brief. And you're sitting there, lukewarm liquid seeping into your pants, component parts of wood and metal strewn around you in shattered disarray, and there, at your feet, a smashed up coffee cup. And you realise the coffee you spilled was just a mistake. And these things happen. And you look at yourself. You look at yourself.
And you see a fool. And we are relatively new to Bournemouth, so do spread the word about us. We're at Broken Rose Arts on Twitter, and also our website is brokenrose.co.uk. We'd really love you to kind of spread the word about us. Also, if you want to kind of have a chat with these guys afterwards, they all have their own different things and areas and fabulous things. So please come and talk to these fabulous artists who have given up their time to you this afternoon. So thank you again so much for coming, and we hope to see you at a Broken Rose event.